All right, so let's finish up this unit with wind and hydrogen fuel cell. Okay, so wind energy is obviously using the kinetic energy of moving air to spin the turbines. And you guys have probably seen these windmills when you're driving around Texas. And they're pretty massive. And you need to have several of them in what we call like a wind farm to collect enough wind to create enough electricity. So wind, we're going to say, uses the kinetic energy of moving air to spin a turbine. And you're going to see a lot of the familiar vocabulary that we've been talking about. So you've got wind, it causes the turbines to turn, which then creates or turns on a generator, which is then distributed down power lines and then to you. Okay, so it says right here, the wind blows across windmills. It turns blades of huge turbines, which spin generators to create electricity. A transformer increases the voltage to send over the distribution lines, and it is sent to you. So basically what is happening here is it is converting mechanical energy into electricity. Okay. This is one of the cleanest types of renewable energy, but there are a couple of disadvantages. So this is obviously renewable and clean. Okay. So one disadvantage is it can interfere with bird migration. So there are lots of birds that will fly into these and die. And I know a lot of y'all are thinking, well, why don't they just see them and fly around it? Well, it's not always that simple. So it does happen. And then this is also linked to what is called, I think it's a mental disorder, and I can't remember the name of it. So people that live near these, apparently they generate a low hum when you're close enough to them, and so it drives people crazy, like literally. And yeah, it's a very interesting disorder, so I challenge you guys to kind of do some research on that. And then the other thing is what some people like to call visual pollution. Visual pollution means it's ugly. I don't know why you would say this is visual pollution. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal, but you know, there's all different kinds of people in the world. So, you know, if you got a friend who's looking a little bit rough that day, you say, you got some visual pollution going on. It's kind of a nice way to say, like, brush your hair or something. All right. Our last one is hydrogen fuel cell. So this is used in transportation. So hydrogen is used as a fuel. Okay. So basically what happens is you have hydrogen from the air because it's so available in the air, and oxygen from the air. They are used to create basically a type of electricity that's gonna power a car. So this tells you right here, step by step, that you have to split the hydrogen molecule, and you have protons. When you move protons, it creates electricity. And one of the side effects that we produce from this is water. So basically what's happening here in a simplified version is we combine hydrogen. Where'd my marker go? Oh, okay. Combine hydrogen and oxygen from the air, because that's free. Okay. To form water and electricity. Okay. Now this water right here is actually producing what we call water vapor, which is a greenhouse gas. It traps heat. So this is still not 100% reducing the impacts on climate change, because water vapor is a greenhouse gas. We'll talk more about that when we get to air pollution. Okay. So we say that water is a product of a fuel cell. Okay. So, they do have a lower environmental impact than a regular car because it does not release carbon dioxide, but it still does release that water vapor, which is a greenhouse gas. So it has a lower environmental impact because no carbon dioxide is released. Okay, so these are kind of what some of them have looked like in the past. I know there's lots of other options right now, but this was kind of one of the first initiatives in having clean transportation. The technology behind this is still pretty expensive. Let's see, technology is still expensive. And there were a lot of states that actually banned the production of these because it would directly impact the oil companies, because people wouldn't need gasoline, so it would cause oil companies to lose money. So a lot of states banned the production of these. California, though, on the other hand, was like, we're going to make as many as we want. So in the beginning, when these were really expensive, a lot of celebrities were driving them around just because it's so expensive. So the technology is still expensive, and energy is still needed to create the hydrogen gas in the fuel cell. All right, so this is a hydrogen pumping station right here. Okay. All right, so that is it for Unit 6, guys. So I'm probably going to have kind of like an overall, like an assignment where you're just going to compare all of the different types of energy sources instead of having like individual assignments on each one. I just think that's a waste of your time. And then we'll be having a test over this. So I hope that you guys definitely learned something new from this and are encouraged to try some of these out when you are old enough to make those decisions.